Hey, how's it going? My name's John O'Connor, and this is my introductory video to YouTube and to the YouTube RPG Brigade. Reason I'm doing this is because I've spent a lot of time behind the computer, not in front of the camera, leaving comments, likes, dislikes, and I've just gotten to that point where it's like, it's really easy to judge everybody else. Let me put something out there for you guys to judge. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm about to be 24 in March. I'm a small business owner. I do promotional designs. Heartmore and Imperial is the name of my company. That's why the channel's named after this. I was originally going to use this channel for my business, but there's just not a lot to promote right this particular second. So this is going to be my gaming channel. I might put a shameless plug here and there when I actually have products I really want to say, hey, buy this, but that's not coming until, check back me in 2016, I guess, if I'm lucky. So, besides the business, my age, I play D&D 3.5 on a regular basis. A couple other games I dabble in here and there, but, my bread and butter is 3.5, and that's where a lot of my viewpoints and ideas come from. So that's the bulk of what I'm going to be talking about, aside from just gaming in general. I have a lot of stories about gaming. I've been doing this for 3.5 years, and I know that doesn't compare to a lot of people, but I've gone through probably about 17 players that I was just like, they were one-shots or they stood with me for a while, and I finally got it down to a workable group of 3 people who are some of the best people I've ever known. They're complete assholes in real life, but when they sit down at the table, they want to hear a story, they want to be part of the story, and that's why I love them to death. I'm going to use their names. I got my buddy John. He's been in the gaming. He's done a lot more gaming than I have, and really he should be my DM, but he don't want to. He wants to play. He doesn't want to tell the story. Then there's my buddy Nicole. This is really like her second campaign, and her first one ended horribly, so, the fact that this one that she's involved in has been going on for about 6 months, she's really happy about. And her best friend, Carly, again, she, hands down, my best role player right now. This girl can cry on command when the scene calls for it. I've actually had to stop the group once because I was like, are you okay? Did I say something to offend you? And she's like, I was just getting into the part. I'm like, well, I stopped the flow. That sucks. So that's my group right now. I've gone through a lot of other individuals. I've had rules lawyers, power gamers, people who don't read the beginning of something, they read the middle of it, so they don't understand how their own abilities work. I've had the casual gamer who just showed up. Can you teach me the system? Can you do everything for me? And then I'll play. It's like, no, if you want to be here, you got to do a little bit of work. I've had them all. And it's just a matter of finding out who you can work with and who you can't. I'm not saying they're bad people outside of this. I'm just saying there's some people who didn't jive with me or vice versa. And it was just like, no, this is a level 1 campaign. Why are you holding a +5 bastard sword? You don't get that. Well, I use this combination and this combination, and it says that it's possible. There is a difference between possible and gonna happen. Gonna happen is what I allow. What's possible is anything in D&D, really. So, I mean, one of my biggest growths as a GM, DM, whatever you want to call it, as I've learned to say no to people. My first experience DMing was horrible. I had played one campaign before that, and that was nearly 10 years ago before I DM'd for the first time, and it was just horrible. I didn't understand XP, I didn't understand armor class, I didn't understand, you're this level, they're that level, balancing things. It was a good story at first, but then the idea fell apart because nothing was going right. Luckily, I don't game with any of those people anymore, but I do still work in that world that I created that first night. It's been tweaked, revised, revamped countless times now, and now it's almost presentable. It's almost like, hey, I have a product that I don't need to spend a day explaining things to you about. You know, it's almost enough readable documents, enough things where I can, hey, you know, come on in. It's not quite there yet. It's almost there. It's one of those things like, hey, you want to play? Oh, do you want to play good? You know, tell me what you're looking to play, class and alignment, and I've got some ideas for you. You can play one of these other ideas that hasn't been finished yet, but understand that it's going to be a little bit of improv, and from me and you, and if you come up with good flavor, congratulations, it's canon. But it's just not quite there yet. So there's some ideas that I'd love to bring to you guys and just go, and other things I'm like, hey, I got this problem. I'd love to hear your solution, because some of the biggest problems that I've had right now is the Druid class being overpowered. The Sword Sage and War Sage, I don't know if War Sage is there, is a Tome of Battle. This is classes in Tome of Battle I have a problem with, because it's like, wow, you can do that much damage and you didn't roll a critical. And it's just like, I don't like power gamers, and I don't like classes that encourage power gamers. So, yeah, before I get 1,000 comments about, well, you allow things, there are sometimes I just don't read. There are sometimes, because I have 1,000 other things to do, that I don't have time to sit down and go, oh yeah, no. There are some things I don't allow in my campaigns, combinations of feats, combinations of classes, because of past experiences. And that's how I've learned these things fly, these don't. But it's still trial and error for me. I only have 3.5 years under my belt, so I'm still learning. I have players who don't want to break the system, they just want a good story, and sometimes they inadvertently power game. They don't mean to. It's like, well, I thought this combination of ideas was a good idea. It's like, well, it is a good idea. Overly good. I put a lot of trust in my players, so there isn't much that they don't abuse the trust anymore. I used to have people who did that, but I'm just not going to be that guy at the end of the day who's like, let me look at your sheets. Everybody, let me look at your sheets. Because I'm not there to be anybody's parent. I'm not there to be anybody's, guardian. I'm there to function as the DM, and outside of that, I have to have a certain level of trust for individuals, because if you're going to play with me, I got to trust you. If I can't trust you, I've kicked people out before, because it's like, look, you're obviously cheating. It's not to say that I won't ask occasionally, hey, can I see your sheet or something, but I don't look at the beginning of the night and at the end of the night going, okay, you did everything I told you to do. I know there's some people like that. I've played in some people's campaigns a couple years ago where it was like, well, I need you to roll your hit points in front of me, and I was like, okay, rolled it, and I rolled a 1. I was a bard with a constitution modifier +1, so it gave me 2. And I was like, okay, well, cool. I started writing, and he's like, well, I need you to re-roll that. I was like, no, I don't want to re-roll ones. I'm cool with that. No, I need you to re-roll that. Okay. Didn't stand that guy's campaign for too long. It kind of fell apart anyways. But I've played with some people who, they can come up with this elaborate world, this incredible idea, and then they want you to go on a linear path, and it's like, well, wait a minute, that shop 2 doors down called Dead Man's Noose, I kind of want to go see what's in there. Well, you saw some shady characters and you're lawful good. I'm not looking to buy an ounce of cocaine, I'm looking to see what kind of people are in there. Lawful good does not mean I'm incapable of being curious and keeping it on the DL. It just means I don't buy the cocaine, and after I go in the shop once, I might never return unless I'm taking it down. But yeah, I've played with people who look at things and are like, it can only be done this way, and it takes a while to tell people. let's just see what happens. If something goes wrong on my part as the player, change my alignment. Or if you're playing with me and you've read the book and like, it can only go that way, I'm like, just have faith in me. I'm not going to dick you over. I like to see you mess up occasionally, but I'm not going to hold your hand to the slaughter chamber. I'm going to hold your hand and go, hey, I got you this far just to show you, hey, there was a grassy knoll over there. It's quite lovely. I'm not a slaughterhouse DM. I like to see people die occasionally. I like to see people fail numerously. But I don't set things up to make people fail. I let them fail on their own. I have my notes. They have their ideas. Things happen, and occasionally they get failed. I don't look to kill people. I don't look to, I took your magic item away. It happens, but that's not the point of D&D. The point of D&D is just have a good time and tell a good story. One of my favorite experiences is actually the time I died because of a weird circumstance of events. I died twice. So I'm going to save that story for another time. And I'm going to sign out now, and I hope you enjoyed my first video. Thank you for your time.